everybody, and welcome back to the Girly Girl Bookworm. So it's been a second. I don't know what happened. Actually, I do know what happened. December happened, right? We had holidays and Santa up the yin yang almost every weekend that I just stopped having time to film. So I apologize that this November wrap-up is coming at the end of December. So if you're watching this, thank you so much for still watching this, even though it feels like old news at this point. I thought I already filmed this, and then I went up into my, channel, and I looked, and I was like, I never filmed this. So get used to looking at me looking like this, because I have so many videos prepped and planned, and I'm excited to just have a whole ton of content to make up for all the time that I missed in the month of December. So let's just dive in. So I finished Beyond the Wand by Tom Felton. I gave this one 4 stars. This is obviously Tom Felton's memoir. I read this as an ebook, and I really wanted to listen to it on audio because I heard that he narrated it himself, but there was no wait for the Kindle copy from my library, so I snatched it up. But I will say I have zero regrets about that because his voice kind of just comes right off the page. You can hear his tone in everything that he is writing, and I really enjoyed all the tidbits about his life and his life during Harry Potter and his life after Harry Potter and kind of his journey of finding really himself and figuring out what he wanted to do in his life, and I thought this was fantastic, and I gave it 4 stars. Then I read The Last Party, which I no longer have. I did purchase it, and then I read it as an ebook, and then I decided it was not going to be something that was going to stay on my shelf, so I ended up passing it along already. And that's The Last Party. Did I say that already? Where's my brain? It's been a while. So I read The Last Party, and I just found it to be okay. There was a double twist type of ending. I definitely had one of those parts predicted. I just think it was one of those books that suffered from too many pages. It's a detective type of story where on New Year's Eve, a man is killed. They find him dead, and we're following 2 kind of detectives that are kind of teaming up to unlikely teammates to figure out what happened that night. And it was too long. If you had condensed it probably 100 pages, I think I would have enjoyed it more. So I gave it 3 stars. It was just okay. Another one that I did not love so much was Nightcrawler by Layla Motley. I really wanted to like this one. I had heard so much good buzz about this one, and I think what didn't help matters was I went into it not really knowing anything about what it was about. It's about this woman who is really down on her life. She's on her own. She's trying to make it ends meet in all sorts of ways. She's trying to take care of her neighbor's child who basically he was abandoned by his family, and she's trying to make sure he doesn't get swooped into the foster care system, and she ends up becoming a Nightcrawler, and it kind of gets her almost involved in this police scandal, and I just found it very not necessarily slice of life, but it just I wanted something to really project the story forward, but I felt like we were really just seeing a lot of her day-to-day life, which is fine. That type of book has its place, but for me, it just didn't hit what I wanted it to hit, and so unfortunately, I only gave it 3 stars. I found myself very bored throughout that story. And then I listened to the audiobook for Beautiful Little Fools by Gillian Cantor. This is a kind of Great Gatsby retelling. I gave this one 4 stars. It's almost kind of like a murder mystery of who done it, who kind of what happened with Jay Gatsby, and we're following the different women that are involved in this, but it's kind of the leading up to it. We know Jay Gatsby's dead, but then we kind of go backwards where we start seeing the women as they meet him and things, and it was a good time. I gave it 4 stars. If you like The Great Gatsby, I would highly recommend it. I am somebody who is not necessarily attached to The Great Gatsby, so I kind of had this disconnect a little bit where I was I feel like I should know these people and I should find the parallels, but for somebody who doesn't really know The Great Gatsby well, I still found it to be an entertaining story. I did start The Island by Adrian McKinty in November, and I only got 100 pages in, and then it got really it's weird. So I read that 100 pages in one day, and then I never had any interest in picking it back up. I'm hoping that'll change. I'm hoping that I wish I could say by the end of the year. We only have a few more days left for the year. I don't anticipate finishing this. I would almost love to say, like, I would love for the last few days to just, like, finish anything that I had, like, soft DNF'd, but that's not going to happen. So we'll see. This will probably end up getting finished next year. And then at the end of November, I was finishing Someday Maybe, my Oni Nibonelli. I'm probably not pronouncing that right. But I finished this one in December, so I'm going to review this one in my December wrap-up instead. So I'm going to leave you hanging just a little bit of a cliffhanger. So those are the books that I finished my November with. I felt like November was a very, like, meh reading month. I felt like I didn't really, there was a couple things that I read that I really enjoyed, but I had a lot of 3 stars in November. So hopefully you'll see December goes a little bit better for me, but I'm hoping that we can turn things around in the new year and get some more 5-star, 4-star reads. But if you've read any of these, let me know down below, and I will see you guys definitely in my next video because I'm going to film it right now. See you guys.